So in this video, I'm going to show you how to find your highest intent audience and then use that in your media buying strategy or Facebook ad buying strategies. So as always, you want to go to your analytics under the measure and report step. You want to navigate to analytics and you're going to choose who you want to look at the pixel or page events for under the assets here. And then the next step is to come down to your percentiles. So this is a really interesting step because it will show you the highest value people of your entire, audience or website traffic. So here we can see, from page views, our top 25% of engagers have 4+ page views. So this is really important because when we are creating audiences to create lookalikes, we want to take the highest quality people. So for example, with page views, or you can even do it for view content because that's a little bit more accurate because view content is usually on a product page, whereas a page view could literally be on any page. But you could see that we would want to create an audience of people who view 4+ pages and then make that lookalike audience from that, because the people who are viewing 4+ times are in the top 25% of our users. Now, the more important one is actually based off the purchase value. So what we want to do here is we want to find out what our top 25% of customers are spending. So we can see here that top 25% spend, over $540, let's say. You can also do it by count. You can see our top customers buy more than once. They buy usually twice. But let's do the value one because this is probably a little bit more accurate and a little bit better for finding the best, highest quality audience for you to make lookalikes from. So once you have this information, you go over to your audiences. So click on your drop down again. Under assets, there's going to be audiences. Under audiences, you're going to want to create a custom audience from that website traffic. And then you want to choose purchase from here. Now, I suggest doing either 180 days because that includes everybody. If you want if you have enough people purchasing, so, let's say, it's a few hundred a month maybe, you can even do a 90 or 120 day to keep the audience fresher. Because if you do 180 days, that includes everybody from the first purchase you recorded to the last one. And if your business has changed over time, that customer might not be the same anymore. Whereas if you go a 90 or 120 day, that audience is going to be fresher, but you need to make sure that you've got enough people there. So just have a think about that. And by default, do 180 days. And the next step is going to refine. So you're going to refine this purchase event by the sum. So we're going to do the sum of value. And we want to create an audience of people who spend over $540 because we know that this is the highest intent group. So let's do purchase 540 plus, and I usually call these high intent audiences. So that way I know that these have the highest intent of either purchasing or have shown the highest intent of purchasing. So once we've created that audience, you then want to go in and you want to create lookalikes from this. So from that, you want to create lookalikes. What I usually do is I expand this out to 6, and I create a 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, and then a 5 to 10%. And then you want to obviously choose the country that you are targeting. So let's say United States. And then you would go and create all of those lookalikes. And once you create those lookalikes, you want to start using those in your ad campaigns. And these are going to be the highest intent audience expanded out into the top percentages of whichever country you're targeting. So this works really, really well for lookalikes because you are taking the very best of your customers and finding other people like them. So I highly suggest that you check out the percentile step in the Facebook analytics and use the purchased percentile to really narrow down and find your highest intent customers to then make lookalikes from. The other thing you can do is you can actually choose a lot of parameters. So if you've chosen to group all of your assets like page and pixel, you can start looking at the percentile of post comments and post reactions, shares, and that sort of stuff. So Highest engaged people, you can also move this, but I like doing the top 25%. You can also change that to the top 50, but as you can see, it doesn't really start to change too much until you hit the top 25%. That's usually around an inflection point for when you have, the average, largest majority of your people who visited your website, and then the top 25% are the real gold miners. So here we can see that, on average, our best percentile or our best, most engaged people, probably comment, 2 to 3 times on posts. So we can really identify if we start seeing multiple comments on, posts, we know that they're a really engaged customer or follower. You can look at other stuff like if you've got your lead event for content upgrades or giveaways or something like that. You can see who's entering the most or who's hitting that lead event the most. You can look at new user activity. That's kind of useless in this one actually. So I would avoid that. But the post shares is a really important one. So see if people are sharing all of your content. That works really, really well. You can start getting into messages. So messages received, messages sent, and you can start looking at that sort of stuff. The other thing is, if you look at messages received, you can then also start filtering by showing the traffic who only purchase. So you could see, for example, let's go to purchase. You could see, how many people are commenting or engaging with Messenger and then turning into purchases. So you can see, 2+ times people are engaging with Messenger, and then the really highly engaged people are messaging, 5+ times. So these are from our customers. So out of all of our customers, on average, they're definitely commenting or engaging with Messenger more than once. And, the top 25% are engaging up to 5 times via Messenger. So you can see how Messenger will start to play a role in your customer relations and also how it's going to affect your customer acquisition. So check out this percentile section. It's really good for creating lookalikes. I highly suggest that you dive into your data a little bit here. You can use the count or the value. And again, let me know if you've got any comments below or any questions. Add it to the comments and we can go through them.